Down the rabbit hole
Mhm.
with Oz and Jesse. How you doing, everybody? And tonight we're going to be talking about demons and dolls. Demons and dolls. That is tonight's topic. Different things that have been possessed by demons, and they are inanimate objects. Obviously, is there anything you want to add to that? Or
No, I mean, I think we're specifically looking at the ones that are the most popular and the ones that have had movies made about them, and then but mostly these dolls being not like spirits or whatever, but demonic possessed. Like, you know, everyone has a theory, but this is
so, like my mother-in-law.
That's probably true for most people. But going over the stories of them and how these dolls have left its mark on culture, on our pop culture.
So if you're watching right now, we are on YouTube, we are on Abstract, we are on X, and that is at Ozthecryptogoat, all lowercases, no spaces. So don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching on Abstract, make sure that you follow us. And obviously the same goes for Twitch and X as well. And whatever platform you choose, we appreciate you. But we are trying to build our YouTube. So if you can go over to the YouTube and hit the subscribe button, like and engage, much appreciated. All right, let's get into it.
All right, our first doll, you want to pull up the picture?
Yeah, which one is it?
Annabelle, because she's the most popular doll. And what people don't understand is she does not look like she does in the movies. Annabelle is very much a Raggedy Ann doll that has been said that it is possessed by a demon. So I didn't realize that this doll isn't as old as I thought it was, this whole story. So this starts in 1970 when a student was given this large Raggedy Ann doll as a birthday gift. And her and her roommate just noticed that the doll was moving on its own. It was like started subtly and appearing in different positions, not how they left it, not where they left it. It would be in different rooms in the apartment, like weird stuff, like just randomly doing weird things. It even escalated to the point where they would find little pieces of paper that were like, please help me or help me, all over the house. The messages, everyone was like freaking out. So it intensified to the fact where people were getting scratched when they came too close around the chest. People could feel someone pulling on them anytime they were too close to Annabelle. They even had a medium who said that the doll...
A medium. Does that mean they're like...
No, they're not
a large
steak.
shirt size.
They're not a steak.
Medium well.
No.
Okay.
So like
just want to like clarify for the chat. A medium, guys.
Like a seance.
So a psychic seance.
I have my
one of those. They have like the little finger bells and they
have
dance
like
with the pointy
I don't know.
shoes.
When I think of seance and psychics, I think of like the big crystal ball and everyone's holding hands and saying weird things. Or maybe that's just because
everybody thinks I have a crystal ball. They're like, Oz, can you look into your crystal ball and tell us the future every single day? And I'm just like, you know what? Every time you ask me what's in the crystal ball, it gets a little bit fuzzier every time.
No, that's definitely not.
Unless you donate, obviously. If you donate, it gets really clear. Either. It's like it polishes it up,
Okay, so
I'm just messing.
The medium claims that the doll is possessed by a spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins, who had died on the property several years before. And feeling sad, they gave the spirit permission to stay with them. When the paranormal activity escalated, the original owners were called in. They concluded that the doll wasn't inhabited by a child spirit, but which they said doesn't possess objects, but was being manipulated by a demonic entity, which means they were just manipulating the doll, making it like, oh no, I'm a cute little girl stuck inside a doll, don't get rid of me, when it really was just something horrible and demonic. Because that's like the case with most things. They pretend to be a little girl. Like, oh, I'm a little girl, you know, don't.
Little
don't
girls are the devil.
They aren't, but that's how
Little
they
girls.
used it. Anyways, because
My mama said,
No.
little girls are the devil.
no, her activity got worse and worse, and then they
So-
put her in the box.
Activity? You mean like
She was physically okay. So she was either physically lashing out, knocking things over. She was never where she was supposed to be. They'd put her in one room, they'd find her in another.
you know, there's this story I have, and we had this like tiki face thing, and me and my friends like growing up, and there were a couple of girls that were in the house, you know, my friends' girlfriends at the time, and we were pretending that this thing was alive and it was doing things, and it would move, and we would turn it upside down and put it in different places. They'd wake up in the morning and be like right next to them on the pillow. It was
so messed up.
so like I could imagine that there could be some human interaction with this, like
Everyone just messing with each other.
yeah, like I mean it's all fun and games, like it's kind of normal for people to play tricks on each other, so like
Absolutely.
I give that a little bit of validity here.
I mean,
but
I could see where you're going with that, but according to these people who experienced it, from visitors and everything, the scratching, the feeling like they're overheating to where they're gonna pass out. Like, I mean, that's like moving something. What do you want? Like moving something, that kind of stuff, that's a whole different ball game. Like scratching people, these people really believe these things happen. So is it in their head? I mean, how do you fake some scratch marks on your back?
So here's the thing.
Oh,
This is what makes it valid for me. Okay. Ed and Lorraine Warren. Okay. They work with the Catholic Church. They were ordained ministers with the church. And if you know anything about the churches, they do not allow you to do basically like exorcisms and things like that without approval from
Correct.
the Vatican, right? So you have to have approval from the church. Somebody has to come forward and say, hey, there's some validity here. It has to be proven that there is something, because they do take into account, you know, for mischief and mental health and different things like that, right?
Well, they didn't always used to do that. That's fairly new.
Right, but they were, at that time, they were doing that. Okay, so when Ed and Lorraine got involved, that was the case. So the fact that the church got involved and were like, this is serious enough to do something about it, is what makes me feel like there's some validity to what happened, because there had to be some type of thing that they saw in the doll that, you know, made them take it. Otherwise, they just thought it was a collector's item, and they were like, you know what, we could totally just take this thing and we'll put it in this little case and it'll become very valuable. But I don't see that.
It's not valuable. It's terrifying.
It's very valuable. It was stolen.
It was stolen. That was actually debunked. That never happened.
No,
It never happened, but people wanted to
see.
This is another
And
thing.
here
People
comes the
play pranks.
conspiracies.
No, but people play pranks. And I looked into that because I thought that too. And I was like, well, that's not great. I don't like dolls. I've always made that very clear. I hate dolls. Dolls are creepy. Their eyes follow you. It's odd. Like, I never owned dolls growing up. But the fact that they were so scared of it, it literally says, warning, positively do not open. The box gets taken. She does not get taken out of it.
Okay, so here's my thing is, if Annabelle is this supernatural doll thing, right? And they decide, oh, we're going to take it on tour and we're going to show it off to people. And
Yeah, because people are weird and they like being around that.
Right, and I get it. But who's to say if this thing that literally, when they brought it to Louisiana, the plantation burnt down. Okay. And I have a clip. We're going to watch the clip here in just a minute. But what I want to say is if it did go missing and it was gone, would you believe the official story that, oh, we totally found it, it was never lost? No, I would. First thing I would do is I would go get a Raggedy Ann doll, stuff it in the box, and say, look, we found Annabelle. There she is. For all we know, Annabelle is lurking in the shadows behind your bed, in your closet right now, prying from around the corner, looking to menace society right now, for all we know. As far as I'm concerned, I do not trust the official story. I think she could potentially be out there like Chucky, roaming around, doing little things and whatnot. I refuse to believe the idea that she's just, oh, she went missing. Oh, no, she's back. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
You can't prove that one way or another.
Either way,
You
I
don't
choose
even
to
know if
believe
they took
to
her
look
really
over my
out.
shoulder because Annabelle's down the rabbit hole over there, okay?
But hear me out then. Okay, so by that logic, maybe she never even left and it was all a publicity stunt and it wasn't the real doll, but because people will buy anything and people are delusional and they love this creepy kind of stuff, they could have just been faking it.
That
and
makes
she's
more
still there.
sense, except for the videos that I found while she went on tour. Some YouTubers went and they opened the box and were allowed to like touch
That's
her and
impossible.
stuff. So we're gonna watch the
Because
video.
then it's not the real box. There's just no way.
You're not real, man.
None of us are real,
All right,
technically.
so let's start with this, okay? Let's give this a little gander here. I'm gonna put my headphones on so I can. Or do you want to hear it?
Drop my stuff.
Because I already heard it.
Okay. All right.
You-
Make sure it's on the screen.
So you can just put this up to your ear like this and take a little listen. And so let's listen to this. This is from YouTube. These guys are freaking hilarious, by the way. I love.
Can they see it?
Yeah, they can see the. So it's right here.
Okay.
So let's take a little listen.
Just recently too, what happened in New Orleans?
What happened?
Fam, they moved the Annabelle doll. Did you see that? They took the Annabelle doll off the real case and they're doing a tour with it.
Oh,
They
brought
first-
it there?
Yes, and the first one was Louisiana.
Oh my
so
God.
the Warren literally told that person, this is the most dangerous thing we have at our museum. You must be sick in the head if you want to do a tour with it.
And then they're doing a tour.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
look at this.
He's doing that then.
Fam, he has holy water
Yeah.
and a prayer beside him, and the Annabelle doll is right in that black thing.
Oh my
And then you
God,
see him
bro.
every time they have to do this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you said a lot of like the were like buried and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
there's a
right?
lot of
Yeah.
that were
Fam, right after the Annabelle doll left, two things happened in New Orleans that was really big. One was the plantation caught on fire.
Oh, shit.
One of the longest standing plantation houses burned. I saw a video where people are saying when they took pictures of the fire, there would be silhouettes everywhere, ghosts. And I'm like, yo, that makes sense because if people died there, so boom, if you see right here, zoom in on the circles, the ancestors.
Damn! So right away they brought the doll into the fire. That's crazy.
The Nottoway plantation started burning.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You see all these silhouettes like actual like ghosts, fam. No, and just recently too, what happened in New Orleans?
What happened?
Fam, they moved the Annabelle doll. Did you see that? They took the Annabelle doll.
Okay.
Can you want a real answer to that? Because I got a better answer
Yeah,
than
I
the
mean-
doll.
Okay, tell me.
What is the history of these huge plantations that have been around for over 100 years? And what kind of apparitions or ghosts would be lurking there wanting to set it on fire? Let's go back in history a little bit.
Master Sir, please, Master Sir. And
So if
he'd be like,
anyone
go
wanted-
pick my cotton.
If
He's like,
anyone
I'm
wanted,
gonna voodoo the ghost of Annabelle on you.
if anybody wanted to burn it down, that's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is I want to burn it all down.
Well, that's
I'm
a
with
little
it.
different. With,
Let's leave the government shut down. Let's just leave it that way. Anyway, let's not get too political on that.
no.
But yes, so the plantation did burn down, and also I believe it was 12 inmates escaped from prison
And that I don't
the
know.
same time. So let's pull that one up here.
Oh my gosh.
So the rabbit hole gets deep, chat. All right, the rabbit hole is deep. So they're moving the Annabelle doll to the French Quarter. He's blessing it and praying over it. Right, this is their little ritual thingy that they're doing. Right, and that's his little prayer. He's got to read. He's got it written down so he doesn't forget. just like Jesse. She got
Most gracious Virgin Mary, thou who was crushed the head of the serpent, protect us from vengeance from the evil one. We offer prayers, supplications, sufferings, and good works to thee, so that thou may purify them, sanctify them, and present them to thy Son.
I'm gonna open up the case.
So,
You're gonna quickly, Dan. I mean quick.
in the case, right?
Grab it and put it in.
This is obviously not the real Annabelle.
It's Annabelle is worn looking, not bright,
Right.
and
So this is a regular.
They
this
said they can't
video
see.
right here. You guys can't
Close
tell.
it up fast.
Sorry. Let's go back
Close
to.
it up quick.
So look, he's blessing it. We saw him blessing it, right? And then this is the Annabelle doll. They're supposedly are moving. That is not the real Annabelle.
it's not. It's that red.
100%
That hair is too red.
Yeah, and they move it into this other box. This is, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's a haunted house or something.
That's all right.
That's not the real doll. There,
In the name of the Father,
in the
Son,
other
and Holy
video we
Ghost.
just watched.
Hail Mary,
that
full of
was
grace, the
actual
Lord is with thee.
original.
Blessed art thou
You know what's
amongst
crazy
women,
is
and blessed
I-
is the
Getting
fruit
one
of
that
thy
I
womb,
had, yeah.
Jesus.
I had a
Holy
raggedy
Mary,
Ann
Mother of God,
and Andy
pray
doll
for us sinners,
growing up.
now and at the hour of our
That my
death.
parents had.
Amen.
And
Yeah.
one year for Halloween,
Let me see your hands
my
again.
sister and I dressed up as Raggedy Ann.
Yeah, okay. And now she's
That's
transferred.
Well, my parents always
One
chose
time.
it. You just gotta watch
Now
it.
she's transferred over.
It's actually holy water.
And we're going to keep her in there temporarily.
Do you
It's
remember
not
when Lorraine
that
Warren said this about the
raggedy
Annabelle doll?
head.
Don't
What?
ever touch
It's
any of
Raggedy
it.
Ann.
And if you do, let me know.
That's a long video.
This is the
Yeah,
worst
so
thing.
that's the actual.
That doll.
But I guess some people forgot about
That's
that
not
because
it.
she's on tour right now.
Right?
So they took her to New Orleans, and why does a plantation house from
There's no-
1859 burn down after?
No.
So
This
here's the
mansion was
thing:
about
is
53,000 square
What happened
feet
in
with
1859 on
64
that little
rooms,
plantation
and it
there,
burns
my
down
friend?
after Annabelle
tell
decides
me.
to visit the city. The fire is
Slavery.
still under
hold on.
investigation,
Well,
so
yeah,
you
we
could-
know that, but let's.
There's
rewind.
more things at play than a doll.
Is that
and it burns
Let me
down
tell
after
you.
right? But
If I was
that is not the actual doll. This is the one
So
that was
then-
supposed to be on
so if
tour.
it's still in New Orleans and nothing's ever happened because they kept it in the box, why would the fires? That doesn't sound right.
I think they took a fake doll on tour.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's why they're like,
But-
oh, we lost it to cause hysteria because people
Right.
are dumb.
So if there's like a spirit or something, and there's supposed to be like a legion of demonic entities attached.
I can
to
believe
Annabelle.
that.
It's called Legion, and if you ask it its name or whatever, it identifies itself as like thousands of entities, right? Who's to say that a spiritual force couldn't attach itself to this doll just based off of the rhetoric behind it and everything that they're doing? It could have created a whole new entity, or not created, but a new entity could have latched onto it. Who knows? They could have done some kind of ritual thing to it. Who knows, right?
Demons don't like other demons.
That's not true, because Legion is one that possesses, like Judas was possessed
That's-
by Legion, right?
There's
Which is
no actual
right. But if you go off of
structure to
biblical,
that.
right. But
But that's the problem.
it doesn't have to be one entity. People can be possessed, and objects can be possessed by more than one entity. Okay.
No,
Yes. Read your Bible.
no.
In the Bible, it states that there was a man that was he was full of demons, and Jesus cast out the demons and sent them into a herd of pigs because there were so many demons. They went into all the pigs,
Well,
and the
those
pigs
pigs
ran
didn't deserve it.
into the sea and drowned themselves.
Poor pork chop.
I'm just saying that
No,
this is
that doesn't make any sense. Take the Bible out. Explain it to me.
there.
Take the Bible
There's more-
out. Explain it to me.
It's a spiritual entity. It's not like it's taking up physical
Because
real
there's
estate.
a difference between demon, spirit, and
Haven't
ghost
you-
if you see it that way.
Haven't you seen people so there were these people that I interacted with, and I'll tell this full story later on. Now is not the time and the place, but I'm going to breadcrumb you guys a little bit right now. This is part of the breadcrumb trail that I am leaving for you guys. But there was this man, and he would talk, and sometimes he would talk really and then yeah, and
he went from Elmo to Louis Armstrong.
yeah,
Okay, got
he's
it.
like, I see skies are green,
And now you're just Schwarzenegger.
plantations too. I whip them too.
Don't sing.
All right, just me and you, and I think to myself. Okay, I'll stop singing. What a wonderful world.
I have to hear this like live. Yeah. Please
So-
feel sorry for me.
This guy was possessed by multiple entities, and each one of these entities that he had in him had a different ability. One of them was this,
Schizophrenia.
I mean, if that's what you want to scientifically call it, but I seen it in a way where God showed me through my path and my walk and my journey that there was something more than that.
Take the Bible out of it. And then there's no argument anymore.
And that's, I mean, you can label it as whatever you want, but here's the thing is we have to have an open mind that there are some things that science cannot explain.
Well, clearly, or we wouldn't be doing this.
Exactly. So tell me when I can unmute. What do you mean unmute? So
Unmute what? Are we muted?
I don't know. But basically the
Oh, he's talking about your horrible singing. Now I know what he's talking about.
Oh my God.
You are correct.
You're not allowed to mute
say
me.
that.
Okay. You
I
have
get
to
it.
watch
I
the
can't
whole
mute,
show.
but you mute for me.
Okay, so we have to understand that yes, we can put a scientific explanation on everything, okay, and we can look at it from a logical perspective, but we have to, especially with these things that we're talking about, that we're looking into, we need to have an open mind, and we need to start, in my personal opinion, I think we should blend science with spirituality. I think that they go hand in hand. Because we have the separation of church and state and all these things, right? That's a no-no, right? But I do believe that they are similar, one and the same. Yes, we have physics, but there are things that defy the laws of physics. You know, there are things that we can give it this label, and that's how we can describe it and give it a way for our puny little brains to understand. But there are just some things out there that we cannot explain. No matter what scientific explanation you want to put on it, for me, in my life, in my experiences, I have come to find that yes, there is versions of people who are mentally unwell and they are schizophrenic. And then there are other people that are possessed by demons and they are granted powers because of those demonic entities that are within them. And that's what I'm referring to with this guy. This is how I knew that he was possessed by demons and that he was not schizophrenic, because the different personalities or whatever that he had, they gave him abilities that no human could do. And you ever saw the movie Split? Remember? It was the Unbreakable.
I remember the movie.
And basically the beast, right, had this special abilities and stuff. I believe that those are demonic forces that actually possess people, that give them abilities. And then I believe there are people that are just unwell and they have split personalities. But I believe that the difference is that when you are given the ability to speak perfect Latin and you never spoke Latin before in your life, that is one thing that the Catholic Church uses to determine whether or not something is just a person with mental illness or someone that's actually possessed by a demon.
Okay. Or maybe someone has access to more of their brain than we do.
I mean, that's possible.
Because you could remember, like, they've even said we could have memories of a past life, hence why we don't get the full access to our brain, because we're not allowed to have it. Our brain can only function at 20 to 30% at max. That's if you're super, super smart.
Gen X says Mark 5'9". You wanna look that one up? Should we?
I don't have a computer.
Let me see here. Let me see if I can pull that one up right now. Mark 5:9. I believe that is the demons in the man. So I have actually read every page in the Bible.
So have I. We both went to Christian school.
Well, most people who went to
We
Christian
got
school
tested
never
on
actually.
it.
Okay, so here it is. And this is from the King James Version, Mark 5:9. And he asked him, "What is thy name?" And he answered, saying, "My name is Legion, for there are many."
If you believe the Bible, right?
I do believe the Bible.
I don't.
And you're entitled to have that opinion. But those of you who don't believe in the Bible, I would encourage you to read it. And as you read it, reach out to God and say, "I would like for you to reveal yourself to me," and He will, and you will see that it is real.
Okay, I'm not having a Bible lesson with you today.
I'm just saying.
And the reason that we aren't allowed to use our full capacity of our brain, we have no idea. But as of now, most people don't ever use more than 20%, and only the high elite use a little bit higher percentage. But for whatever reason, our bodies cannot actually process using our brain at 100% capacity. And I think there's they think that we would be telepathic or whatever that case, there's a block that we're just only allowed to use bits and pieces of each part of our brain to answer that question.
And I agree with that. And I think that that is a real explanation for some cases. And in some cases, I believe that there is a more likelihood of a demonic possession. And there's a list of things that, the church calls
That's my
for.
whole issue is the church.
And I'll tell you this,
Creating
I do not
this demonic possession thing to make experiments out of people, or to be like, these are the same people who are like, mental health isn't real, you need God, when they really just needed medication.
And I agree with that. But I think that there's also something else that is real out there that can't be explained.
Possible.
How do you explain the spirit box thing?
I believe that ghosts are real.
Right. And I believe that I don't believe that all of them are ghosts. I think that some of them are demons, which are basically the fallen angels, and whatever you want to call it. Like in any religion, right? First of all, I'm not religious. Okay. I just understand that there's something bigger out there that we can't begin to understand. I do not believe in church as a religion. I think that most churches and the people that are in churches are very hypocritical and are probably some of the worst people, and I do not find myself equally yoked with them because they have these righteous blinders on, and they refuse to see the truth because they think they're holier than thou. So I do not find myself having church with them in a building. I do not believe God is in a building. The best church I ever had was with my grandfather. We used to feed the homeless every Sunday from 1983 to 2007. Every single Sunday, never missed one. And one time, my grandfather, it was just me and him. And on a Sunday, we went down to the liquor store. We grabbed a couple 40 ounces of malt liquor and went to the park. Just me and him. I was 21 at the time. This was much later on. And we just sat down with some of the homeless people there. And we said, "Hey, you guys want to share a beer with us?" And we passed around the 40, and we were just sitting there talking, and we were just fellowshipping with one another, telling our past stories and things that we've been through, our struggles. We prayed for them, and that was the best church I ever went to. It was helping people, even with just a beer as a way to open it up. Nowhere in the Bible does it say you can't have a beer. I don't understand where all these Christians,
if you believe the Bible, he turned water into wine.
Exactly.
And that's lit. Just saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of God I want to have. If someone
could do that in front of me, I'm like, I'd be a believer. But
I turn water into wine. I just add a little bit of fruit and sugar to it.
That's not how that happened.
That's how I do it.
You're done preaching to me now.
I'm just saying,
I
I'm
get
not
it why you guys
religious.
have to believe what you do. It gives you purpose. It gives you something that's greater than yourself to explain things you don't understand. I totally get it. But there are things that just don't make sense because they don't make sense.
Right. But according to Mark 5:9, he calls him Legion, for there are many. And Legion is apparently what is in Annabelle. Okay? At least what I've come to find. So let's finish watching this clip.
Oh, it's so long.
Annabelle decides to visit the city. The fire is still under investigation, so you could call it a creepy coincidence, but if you watch
So
the
these are not
Conjuring
the real,
and Annabelle movies, you will know
It's a
how
movie,
evil
I
she
take it.
Robert and
truly is.
Lorraine.
But that's not the only weird thing that happened over there. 10
That one
inmates
is.
escaped from a prison shortly after.
So these are the
The
inmates
way
that
they did it, they like
escaped
escaped
from
from
prison.
a wall behind the toilet. This is not
Now
even
what
their
she
size,
says is a
this
little
Annabelle's
hyperbolic, like,
size.
oh, only a doll could fit through
She
there.
could have
No,
helped them. And
only
guess where
could fit
she's
through
at
there.
now? San
Okay.
Antonio, Texas. I'll be praying for you all.
Can we also point out that when these fires happened, everyone was angry? The world is divided. And these were representations of ugly history, of ugly U.S. history.
And
I don't think one
that
is connected to the other.
someone could have literally just gone out and said, hey, Annabelle is out of her cage. Let's go light something on fire because it'll go viral. You know,
What?
people are crazy. Okay. I'm just saying, but maybe it was the spirits that were let out from Annabelle that caused someone to do such a thing. Me personally, I think it was just somebody was like, hey, we should totally set this plantation on fire because,
The history that
you know,
it holds.
fuck these people. And two, oh, we can blame it on Annabelle.
That's what I would do.
That's what I would do too.
But right, we don't know. But that the most likely scenario, the history that those plantations have, they probably deserve to be burned. Not saying that anybody should have got hurt. I'm just saying
I don't care what happened there. I don't think you should burn down a building just because it was the man who, you know, was the judge for the Salem witch trials. Like, you don't burn the building down. No, it's a part of history, and there's things we can learn from history.
They literally rename cities when atrocities happen there. There's a few in California. They're like, we're going to rebrand. We can't be
but if you
associated.
burn the building down, there's nothing there to point at and say, hey, that's where this thing happened. No, once it's there, eventually, over time, it's lost and no one talks about it anymore. There's no remnants of it. There's no history left behind of it.
That's the point.
I know. So, like, burning down a plantation because atrocities happen there doesn't mean that we should burn all those things down, take down all those statues. No, they should be put there in place so that way there can be teaching that happens from it.
Do you know what they're taking out of the schools for kids to learn?
What's that?
Anything that has to do with that time period. So it is in someone's best interest to get rid of them so they're not landmarks and people can't be like, see, we were terrible people. No, it didn't even happen.
History is written by the winners. So whoever wins rewrites history in their favor or whatever they're liking to be.
That's not what's happening because those plantation owners didn't win. And so if you take out there were no losers and the Confederate Army really won, where are we at here?
The South will live on.
Like, it's so weird because, like, I see that flag and I'm like, you know, you lost, right? Like, that's a loser
We're proud
flag.
people here. I'm being hyperbolic, by the way. I'm poking fun at the idea.
I believe there's some sort of balance between spirituality and logic, but I'm always going to lean towards that logic angle.
Right. And for me, I'm going to be in the middle with both. I'm going to give there some validity to the mind is a powerful thing and give some validity to that there just might be something supernatural. So I'm going to be open to both aspects and not discount one or the other just because one is easy for our mind to wrap around.
Okay.
Okay, so let's finish watching our little clip here.
It's not. Oh, it's 30.
Let's finish it here.
25. We like to fuck around and find out. So what do? We take Annabelle on a world tour. Okay, we're just moving her all over the place. They send her to New Orleans.
Moving her all over the place. New Orleans, man. There's a lot of creepy energy in New Orleans.
I disagree. It depends on what you Discern is
to
creepy.
the ground.
I mean, there's vampires.
They
and,
literally had the fire out at one point and it reignited
Little
itself.
clip.
If
Little
that's not
clip.
the ancestors speaking their truth.
Yeah, it's not a
Anyway,
little clip. I know, that's what I
then
just said.
11,
But I want you guys to see.
10 or
So these are
11
the prisoners that
convicts
escaped, right?
escape a prison. Okay? There are 10
That's pretty much
convicts.
all there was to
Some
take from this.
convicted
Hold on.
of unaliving people on the loose
This
in
is
New
what I
Orleans.
want you to
Actually, I
see
think they've
right
called
here.
She would cause chaos. I just didn't think it would end up like this.
Annabelle.
So this is the
a
actual Ed and
Raggedy Ann
Lorraine
doll
Moore.
that's made like thousands
So
of
I
other
wanted
dolls.
chat to get a chance to
Except
see
that this
them.
doll
And
was used in
this is
communication.
supposedly
having
the original
seance.
doll. I don't think it
A
is,
nurse
though.
had
Maybe it
received the
is.
doll 1971 as a
And they're
present,
just kind of
Christmas
explaining,
present from
you know,
her
what
mother.
happened. The nurse
And the doll
received the
stands about
doll.
3 foot
What
high.
we talked about.
Right,
And she would
exactly.
take it to bed with her at night.
So I just wanted you guys to get a little context of who they are. They're not the people that you saw in the movie or whatever. So there's that, okay? So this is the video. This one is short. So there were some YouTubers that while it was on display, and this is what makes me believe that it was the real people. Oh, did we lose it?
They've opened Annabelle's box to investigate whether she's actually haunted or not,
these
and they
YouTubers
found
right
out
here,
something terrifying. Owner of the museum
they
let
were
them
given
open the
an
case for only 5
experience with
minutes
the
to make this
doll,
meeting
with it
relatively
open,
safe. And they even asked a
and watch
priest
and
to
see
say
what
a prayer.
happens here.
So after opening the case, there was no coming back.
We didn't want to waste any time that we had to be able to do this.
Any point you feel threatened or anything like that, don't hesitate to leave the museum for a little bit.
They used the Estes method to communicate with the doll. It's the same one they used to talk to Peggy. Watch what happened.
Annabelle, or any spirits here, you can speak through Colby to tell us a message or to talk with us. Is there anybody here in the museum with us?
200,000?
What? Are you connected in any other way to other haunted dolls?
Everybody against you.
Meeting with the doll showed immediate results because after getting into the car, they had a serious argument and finished recording.
You always believed.
I mean, these guys were seriously traumatized from this.
They've opened Annabelle's
seems
box
pretty real and legitimate to me. This is why I believe that they had the real doll on tour. This, I think, is the real doll right here. I thought it wasn't. There was another image, though, that looked more like it. Maybe that was the wrong image. I'm not completely sure. But I do know that this image is from Ed and Lorraine's basement, where they have all these different artifacts and things that they've gathered over the years. Maybe they're just pack rats and they saw cool things and they're like, oh, it's got a demon, we better take it with us and add it to our little collection. I think that's plausible. Maybe not. I mean, my dad's a pack rat. Okay, my dad wants, if you've got something that he doesn't have, he's got to have it, and he would blame it on the devil to get it away from you. I'm just saying, it is plausible, right?
I think you're way out there with this one.
Why not?
Because, like you said, they were religious people.
It's the devil. Give me your action figures.
You know how I feel about hiding behind God for your bad actions. Own them. Don't say, oh, I did this bad thing because the devil made me do it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's maybe what they were doing. Like, for instance, I have this. Those of you who have been around for the show for a long time, on my desk I have the baseball here, right? Signed by Mike Trout. Now, if I had this and you were a preacher and you were like, oh, the devil lives in that ball, I better take it with me. I better take that ball from you.
People use God to do terrible things. You're proving my point.
And I believe that that is a possibility. Like, I'm not taking that off the table. I'm open to the fact that there are some things that we can explain and we can wrap our head around, and there are some things that we can't. And just because something happened doesn't mean that we just jump straight to ghosts, right?
Right.
We should look at the logical explanation. Why would they have this whole pack rat, display of things?
Have you seen New Orleans? They just do stuff like that.
Well, this isn't New Orleans. This is Ed and Lorraine's basement. All these little artifacts are supposedly.
I got that picture from New Orleans.
Oh, this is from New Orleans?
That's New Orleans.
Okay. Well, there is a place, and it's Ed and Lorraine's basement. And we can maybe post a
They
clip
moved
of it
it
later.
though. That was the whole thing. They gave it to this place, and they kept it in that box and gave them the box so that people in New Orleans could go see. You can go see it today.
They got older, and they were like, you know what? We need to make some money off of this stuff.
Yeah,
now.
they're not around anymore.
We've been pack ratting this stuff for umpteen years. It's time to cash in on our
Don't
investment.
you think it would be weird if you were religious and you want to have all this negativity in your basement? Don't you find that odd?
That's why I'm leaning towards the idea of maybe they're just hoarders, and they were like, oh, that looks really cool. I want that. It has the devil in it. Let us take it off your hands. Free of charge.
Sure.
It seems plausible.
No, it doesn't. All right, next doll.
Okay. All right. So,
yeah, I know.
Here's my thing: is I don't think that the real Annabelle went on tour.
Whether you believe it or not, do you believe the stories about the doll? That's what it's about. Whether it went wherever, whomever, wherever it came from. Do you believe that this doll had a demon in it that was literally just harassing and terrorizing people?
I do, based off of the video of the YouTubers. Because the YouTubers,
this is where we are.
I mean,
but there's history. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but what I'm saying, there's a lot of history of people like, oh, we visited in the doll. Well, you know what I mean? Like,
right. So there's a long track record of things happening. Obviously, YouTubers can be YouTubers, right? We're YouTubers,
Right.
I make up things on the fly all the time just for show value, right?
That's fun.
It is what it is. But, let's not...
because when you bring religion into anything, you make it a touchy subject.
I understand that. I just think that
not just for me, I don't care.
There's
but
some
for
validity
others that don't want to hear that.
There's some validity in the fact that it may have been the real Annabelle doll that went on tour. There's some validity in the fact that it possibly does have demon possession because of what happened with the YouTuber. And there is some validity to the fact that it may or may not have gone missing and is still out there lurking in the shadows underneath your bed, waiting, watching.
In this world, all of those are very, that could happen. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the main thing here. It's like, let's think about it. Let's have an open mind, chat. Like, let's explore every possibility that it possibly could be, because we don't know. We have no hard facts here.
No.
That's the fact of the matter, is there is no hard facts.
Everything we talk about, there's no hard facts, whether it's alien, ghosts, whatever conspiracy theories that we are jumping down, there are no hard facts.
Well, the moon landing is a hard fact.
That's
okay. We definitely have the video footage of something happened.
so
millions of people saw it.
So what I'm saying is it's all speculation, and we all have to come to our own logical.
Right. And the idea is for you as the viewer to decide for yourself. We're not here to tell you what to think.
We just decide what we think and our opinions, and everyone has their own.
You know what I think? Little girls are the devil.
That might be true.
The devil is in the doll.
I'm raising psychological warfare. All right, bring up Robert the doll.
All right, Robert the doll.
This story's a little older.
This one's freaky. Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
It looks so sweet and innocent, but my goodness.
I'm not gonna lie. This one is
the story
weird.
this one.
Hold on, let me just set the room real quick. I had never heard this story.
I did.
Until you told me about it. And then I started deep diving into it for the show. And I got a little freaked out. Okay. Yeah. This is crazy, chat. If you haven't heard
Robert
of
is
Robert
something
the
else.
Doll.
Robert the Doll.
So tell us, who is Robert the Doll? I'm sure most of you haven't heard of Robert the Doll. I would say Robert the Doll is creepier than Annabelle.
Oh yeah, and not only that, Robert's been around for a very long time.
Right. So tell us about Robert the Doll. Who is he? What does he do?
So Robert the Doll, this toy was given to a little boy in 1904.
1904.
He was originally given to Robert Eugene Otto, a young boy from the Key West.
So that's 120 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, 121 years ago.
Dang.
The doll was manufactured in Germany and was brought to Otto's grandfather during a trip abroad. They speculated that the doll may have originally intended for a window display, and it was not to be for sale, but the grandfather convinced them to sell it to him. A variation of the origin story claims that a Bohemian servant, like somebody off the street, is the one who sold it to him, or practiced voodoo, cursed the doll, the same old rhetoric.
Voodoo.
Right. It comes
Voodoo,
back
voodoo,
to
voodoo.
that kind of rhetoric. Young Robert Eugene Otto became so attached to the doll that he gave it its own name and instead on being called Gene. So this boy goes, okay, this doll is named Robert and my name's Gene now because I love this doll so much.
Wait a minute. So let's jump down the rabbit hole a little bit here before we go any deeper. So the little boy's name's Robert.
Robert Eugene, yes.
Right. And so the boy says, I want the doll's name to be Robert and for me to be Gene.
Right.
Now that is a sign of demonic possession.
Well, that's a sign of some kind of connection where either the doll's like, I want your name, call your name.
Right. Or basically he's like, I no longer live in my body. I'm a vessel for this entity to take me over. And now I reside in the doll and it has possession over me. So it
is odd.
Sign number one.
It is odd for a little child to be like, I'm Gene now. The doll is Robert. Like I don't know if my 5-year-old came up and said that to me. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little weird, but sure, son. Like, I don't know how I would react to that.
Every time you say Gene, I think of Gene from Bob's Burgers going a jiggly, 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 jiggly.
Anyways, as a child, Gene would often blame any mischief or misbehavior on the doll, saying Robert did it when toys were mutilated or objects were overturned in his room. Neighbors, according to legend, claimed to see the doll moving in the upstairs window when the family wasn't at home. The Ottos and their guests also reported hearing giggling and seeing the doll's face expression change wherever the doll was.
Okay. Let's rewind a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the story that I read about it is basically the doll was doing weird things and moving on its own and creepy, weird things were happening. So they locked it away in the attic.
Okay. Well, before we get to that, that wasn't just the only case. The incident that occurred for that to happen. Okay. So one night after hearing commotion in Gene's room, his parents found the room in disarray. Gene was terrified, shaking and screaming in his bed, insisting Robert was responsible. All of his toys and everything were mutilated. Everything in the room was destroyed.
Hold on. Don't you think that a kid could be having a temper tantrum and did a bunch of crazy stuff, or maybe split personality disorder,
yes.
or whatever
Very
personality,
logical. Yes.
and then uses that as a reason to blame it on something? Because I'll tell you what, right now, my 5-year-old, or I think she's like 6 now, when she was younger, even now still, she would do things and blame it on the devil. The devil made me do it.
I believe that.
So, is it perfectly logical for a child to lash out and do something like that and then blame it on a doll?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The question is this. They were not home, and the neighbors saw it moving around in the attic.
Right.
That's what's creepy to me. That's what leads me down the crazy rabbit hole of this is some demonic thing, right?
But here's my issue. So Gene, and he stayed with this name. He never went back to Robert, even after he went to college. And he kept the doll. He kept it. Okay, so...
not me. I'm going to light it on fire. You know, I had a Furby one time, and this thing was possessed, okay? And it was like going like crazy, and we took the batteries out of it, and it kept like going, so we torched it with a torch.
Yeah, that was the right move. Those things were creepy.
And it was literally on fire, still going like, yeah. It was creepy.
No, so this dude... He literally brought it back to his childhood home after studying and being abroad. His wife, Anne, was reportedly uneasy with Robert and had him moved to the attic. Visitors claimed to hear giggling and footsteps coming from the attic after the doll was confined. So this is Robert's reputation. He's obviously in a museum now, locked up, like you see right here. And the story is, if you take a picture of him without asking for permission, you just get bad luck and bad things happen to you. And they literally
Elaborate. Okay.
like car accident, something bad happens, they lose their job.
You get the bad juju.
Yeah, they get that bad vibe, that bad. And so what they have to do is send in an apology or come apologize to the doll for taking its picture
Dear
without
Mr.
permission.
Doll, Robert the doll.
Dear Robert,
we are so sorry that we used Flash. Please forgive us. Our utmost apologies. Could I please get the winning lottery numbers this week? I've been doing so bad.
I believe the government was surveillance through Furbies. I think that was like a test program, by the way. I
believe that too. They had like that little like camera censored thing.
And you just do you remember the Simpsons? Oh, you didn't watch the Simpsons. There's a Simpson episode that made fun of the Furbies, and the thing was they were literally monitoring children to see what kind of toys they like, so they knew which toys to make for Christmas.
I mean, that checks out.
It does, right? Yeah.
I would not
when it comes to the government, anything's possible.
I would not put it past any government entity to do something with toys, especially toys, right? Because children, because it's about money, right? Like that's why they monitor everything we do online. They want the data. The data can literally, Facebook knows when you have to poop. They know you have to poop before you do. This is a real thing.
Are you talking about that? This is how we all only watch cartoons. Are you talking about that American Dad episode where she finally got a conspiracy theory right, and it was Project Poop, and they were filming everyone while they were people who were on the toilet looking at their phones, and they were filming them?
Yeah. And like, so the camera's looking at you and it's looking down. So if you're beating it in the bathroom, the CIA's got footage on you. They're watching you. Big Brother is watching you. Spank the monkey. All right. So you just remember that. And one day when you run for Congress, they're going to say, you better play ball or we're going to show them videos. We got a whole spank bank full of them, baby.
Spank bank. No.
I mean, it makes sense. Why, next time you're beating your meat and you're in the bathroom, look at what direction the cameras are looking right at your face.
Who takes their phone in the bathroom? That's disgusting. That's where germs live. I mean, never, like, I get, like, I put when I have music, when I take a shower, but when I'm using the restroom, like, why would you take your phone in there where germs and poop and pee live? What the hell is wrong with people?
I get my best TikTok work done while I'm on the toilet.
Oh, that's so disgusting.
Those are my best lives ever.
No.
Yeah. And you know what? As long as you're using a mic, they don't know because, if you got your regular phone mic, they hear the echo, right? But if you got your little mic going and then you're good, they don't even know it.
That's disgusting.
True story, chat.
That's disgusting.
True story, chat.
No.
Yeah. Next time I'm live, I'm just going to say this is a TP live, and all y'all from YouTube are going to know what I'm talking about. Like, we are on a TP live right now.
I don't understand it. I guess that's
it's toilet paper.
I'm not gross, so I'm not.
Oh,
gross.
I'm just kidding. Come on, like.
Don't lie.
Entertainment.
Don't lie. You're a man. I've seen every male do it. Just take their phone in there, and I have teenagers. I can hear the YouTube videos coming out of there.
If I don't take my phone to the bathroom, I have the most boring poop I've ever had in my life.
You mean you're left alone with your thoughts and you don't want to be?
Yeah. I need entertainment while I poop. At least Angry Birds. Like, I used to do the Angry Birds while I poop. That was like my main thing. Yeah. So like, I'd be dropping poops and shooting birds.
Okay. That's... I think you're addicted if you can't... That's what I'm saying. Remember when I like doing things like I put my, like, people are like, oh, I was trying to get a hold of you. I put my phone down. I don't remember where I put it. I'm going out and doing stuff and living my life or baking or talking to my kids. People have gotten so dependent, and it's like, go live. Don't be on your phone. If you can't go to the restroom without your phone,
I get the most work done on the toilet and while I'm golfing. That's where I get the most business handled. I'm killing 2 shits at one time.
I don't think that's
2 turds in one stone. What? Getting 2 birds with 1 stone? I'm killing 2 turds with 1 stone.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I can kill 2 turds and get stoned.
But think about both those things you said are solitary and confined.
Yeah, I don't like solitary confinement.
But that's what you're choosing.
No,
because you're using your phone.
I'd rather have my celly in there with me. My phone is my celly. It's my cell phone. You gotta have the homie in there with you. Can't poop alone.
I digress. All right, next one, Valley of the Dolls.
Some of y'all never been locked up, and it shows.
Okay, well, that's a different story for a different day, ain't it?
It is.
What is it? Some of you never had a second cop car pull up, and it shows.
Yeah, I've had like 11 cop cars pull up on me.
You got me beat.
I was a menace. He told that one. I didn't tell the whole story, but they did put me in solitary confinement for 15 days straight in the dungeon. I was in the dungeon. And that was the most awful and mentally trying time of my life, was being in that situation. And if I didn't have the mental fortitude that I have, any other person would have cracked.
All right, Shelly's in second place with the 9 cars.
9 cars.
That's pretty good. I only had 2 because I was
9
pregnant
cars.
and I beat someone up.
What did you do? You got caught stealing cats, didn't you?
No, she got caught stealing horses or chickens. I knew it.
I think it was the cats. Every time I see her, she's got a new cat.
No. She's just a good person that loves animals.
I mean, I do love cats.
I do love cats. I would steal some cats. I'd be like, oh, they're sitting on their porch. They need a home.
It was horses?
I knew it.
You're lucky they didn't hang you for it.
Hey, that was the old rules.
That's what they do. They
lynch you. She wouldn't have stole anything bad. It would have been something that was beautiful and she was trying to help.
They said, oh, she stole a horse.
You're in the bathroom now. See, this is what I'm look at. I'm in the bathroom. This is what I'm talking about.
See,
what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all?
Hey, make sure you wash your hands, please.
It's too late. What is it? Okay, so that's my thing. If you're on, okay, so we really got down a rabbit hole. I know, because didn't we? I mean, we have other stuff to talk about, but look, okay, I'm gonna visualize. Okay, you're in the bathroom. No. Oh, okay. You're in the bathroom. No, okay. So your phone is in your hand. How do you squiggle out? So you take your phone and you like push down, right? And the undies, and you lift up your phone, but then how do you wipe? Do you just like lean to the side and not to your phone? Like, how does that work? And then how do you wipe?
I will tell you how.
Okay, no,
very carefully.
Let me finish.
Very carefully.
And not only that, do you wipe and you're not going to do it well with one hand and do it correctly because you're too busy looking at your phone? That then you got to. How do you?
I got one of those neck things from the TikTok shop.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
And I got my phone. And then I just use my nose.
Not only that, then
use
you
my nose
have
to
your phone.
Swipe. I'm swiping like this.
Do you put it on the sink and wash your hands, your poop hands next to the phone? How? Am I crazy? Like, is that not disgusting? Like,
I would say
visualize that.
This is why I never want to touch anyone else's phone, because I would imagine that
they're disgusting like you.
Every phone. Every phone like has shit on it. Guaranteed. And then you put it up to your face and you talk to it. I only talk on my phone in speakerphone. All right, more on Robert the doll. Reel it in.
I know, I'm sorry.
You gotta reel it in here, guys. We're out here.
I don't know how we even got there.
Okay. So Robert the doll.
Okay, so that history, so he's still, again, he says that they say that he gives cursed energy. And not only that, you can see all the letters in the background. They keep every single one of them. There are
if you take a picture
without permission, and if you don't come back and apologize or send in an apology, you just get bad luck.
What if you call it names or something like that? You piss
it doesn't
off.
like disrespect. Yes, it's been around a long time.
It wants reverence.
Kinda.
So basically, you have to be all hail to the Robert.
Right.
Robert, please, if it would be all right with you, may I take a picture? Now, does it answer you and say yes or no?
No, the bad luck just stops.
I know, but what if you do want to take a picture and you're like, hey, bro, can I totally take a picture of you?
And then nothing happens to them, according to Key West, where he is staying.
Yeah, but don't you think that there's a possibility that they made all this up?
Absolutely.
And that people just get it in their mind.
Absolutely.
And it's like...
they are manifesting it.
Yeah, they're manifesting the negativity
like,
into their life.
Let's see if this is true. And then they manifest it and they're like, oh, my life sucks.
Right. And then they start noticing negative things happening in their life because they're dwelling on negative thoughts that this might have happened. Or it's freaking real.
This doll, I knew about it because it was connected to other things the stories that we had growing up. So, but this doll has been around, like, look at it. Like, that is
121 years.
121 years in almost beautiful condition, but you can see it's wear and tear. It's the moth eating, like all that kind of stuff because it was left in an attic. But that thing...
Was this doll ever cute and loved before?
Yes.
I would imagine so.
Okay, so this doll's name is Robert, right? That was the boy's name. He loved his doll so much. He gave his name Robert to the doll, and he used his middle name as Gene and still went by Gene his whole life, leaving Robert with his own name.
But mind you, that 120 years ago, the quality of craftsmanship for dolls wasn't like what we have now. Now we have all these different materials and things. So like, back then, like kids would get a hand carved wooden horse from their dad.
And they would,
for Christmas. You know what I mean? So it does, this is the quality of what it was. So I don't see it being
no idea what the
quality.
Dog's name is. They never mentioned that because it was just an entity of its own.
I'm scared of the dog. Like it's gonna bite my ankles. I hate Chihuahuas. They are the worst dogs ever. Like, I mean, we'll never hate an animal, okay? But I don't want it around me. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to.
They're fierce.
It seems
they
like it's
care.
an abomination, okay? Dogs were not meant to be that small and that angry.
I disagree because I'm Hispanic and I'm small and I'm angry. So let's go down that road.
So your new nickname is Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
We'll call you Yo Quiero Taco Bell.
No, that ain't it. Okay, Valley of the Dolls.
All right, So that's it.
For this one, yes. So there is hard to find history on this one, except for people are terrified.
So don't piss off Robert,
or you're going to have to write a letter. Don't do that.
If you don't like homework, don't go visit Robert.
And if you're going to go take a picture, please ask for permission. This dude don't play.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not buying it. Before
history
we get
is history. It's like saying that, what does the Bible say? Some guy lived to 500 years. We know that's not true.
It seems psychosomatic. And like, wouldn't you want to write a letter that they're possibly going to put up in the case for somebody to read?
I would never be around dolls. So
I'm going to write a letter and never been there. Be like, I'm so sorry, Robert. I didn't mean to piss you off.
What if you do that and it's like, this lying piece of... I didn't curse him. He's cursed now.
I feel like we need to write a letter just for talking about it right now. Right? Because if it is real, he must know that we're talking shit right now.
Well, if we send the letter,
you wrote those. You better write a letter. You better write an apology.
Look, my life already sucks, and I already have bad luck. Come at me, bro.
There you go.
I'll call their bluff. You know how I am.
Jesse is gonna get. So we got another image of Robert the doll. Let's check it out here.
Cutie pie.
Let's take a look.
I just can't see how this doll did so many bad things.
So this is another image of the doll from the side, and what I want to know is who is this guy that looking like Walt Disney right here?
That's what we're focusing on.
I'm just saying, did Walt Disney have something to do with this?
I don't know. Maybe they had beef. This doll's been around forever.
Yeah, maybe
a doll that's been preserved, and it's very rare, over 100 years. There had to be, whether you believe it or not, there had to be something very special about Robert for them to keep
Let's see. That's Walt Disney.
No, it's not. Actually,
that
looks
is
like
Walt Disney.
Remember,
chat.
this doll was made in Germany, and that looks like a German.
That's the devil.
No, it's Germans are not certain people.
What about this? Look at this. This looks like an official seal from the government. Maybe
they're the ones who own it.
That looks like
it
a
was
state
given to
seal.
Key West Historical Society.
This looks like the Florida state seal. Obviously, it's a bit pixelated. You zoom out. And then this looks like maybe it says like the something. So there's some kind of something to it. But look at this. This looks like the swastika with the eagle above it.
No, it doesn't.
I'm just saying, I deep dive into this stuff. I was looking at the background stuff here. What I want to know is, what is this?
I think it was the little boy holding it.
What is that?
I don't know.
It looks like a goat eating a child.
What?
You don't see the goat? That's a goat.
I think just everything's a goat to him. That's not a goat.
That's a goat.
You always think you see goats when there's no goats.
What is this? What am I looking at?
I don't know. I wasn't looking at that stuff. I was looking at Robert.
TikTok seller says, I blame Israel. I'm sure that
you're probably
Hitler Youth
right.
does as well.
McDonald's.
All right.
Okay.
Reel it in.
Okay, where's
Jesse? You keep getting off topic.
It's not me. It's not me.
All right. Here we are. We're back. So
bring it up.
The next one. I think it's this one here.
Okay, that's a good one.
You want to do that one?
Yeah. Oh, we lost us.
Oops.
Oops.
Hold on, chat. We're here.
Okay. So the Valley of the Dolls, and I'm sure most people, especially if you're Hispanic, you know about this place and its history. But in case you don't, this is part of the Chimilago, I can't say it, canals in South Mexico City. This particular
A D
island,
in English, Bobby. You speak English.
Dedicated to, okay, so there was a hermit caretaker, Julian Santiano Barrera, reportedly discovered a body. Yes, and this was in the 1950s, the body of a young girl who had drowned in the canal. This canal is infamous for the horrific things that have happened. While some say he found her body and a doll floating nearby, others, including relatives, believe he might have imagined the girl entirely due to his reclusive state. Haunted.
Wait. Hold there.
Yes.
So they're saying, because he was basically a hermit to this island, that he was seeing things, is what people are trying to say. See, that's you. Your missus, everything has to be scientific and has to have an explanation behind it, right? Okay. Don't you think that he could have seen something?
I do. Now, I'm not dismissing what he saw, because there's something that deeply troubled him that started him on the venture that he went, because I don't think he could have just decided one day, I'm gonna be weird. And when he grew his own food. He didn't bother anybody. People came and, he traded food for other stuff. Nothing about him screamed crazy. He just didn't like people. Being a hermit doesn't mean crazy. Being a hermit means I don't like people. That's my thing.
It seems like maybe trauma could have been due to it.
Seeing a dead little girl might be traumatized.
Right, and that would totally do it. But and that would explain some of this. But at the same time, don't you think like maybe there was something that happened before? Like, let's say that, because he said he found a drowned girl, right? But where's the girl? There was no body found. There was,
getting to that.
Right. So my question is maybe this is induced paranoia.
But I'm the logical one?
I'm just saying, like, we got to look at it logically and illogically.
That's what I was getting to.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so elaborate.
Okay. All right. Haunted by his inability to save her or by her spirit, Barrera hung the doll he found in a tree as a memorial, and it is still there, but it's in the spidery part of it. Driven by a perceived need to appease her restless spirit, Barrera spent the next 50 years scouring canals and trash heaps and trading produce for more dolls. He hung thousands of dolls, many of them mutilated, dirty, and broken across the island. So pretty much anybody could bring a doll and hang it as tribute to the little girl.
I'm hanging a doll.
In 2001, Barrera was found dead, drowned in the same spot in the canal where the little girl had said to have died decades earlier.
I don't understand. Like, how is hanging dolls?
It was like a tribute to the little girl. So when he found the little girl, she had a doll. He took the doll since he couldn't help the little girl.
I don't think the little girl liked this. I don't think this is what the little girl meant.
She was deceased. How would you know?
If she existed at all.
She had a little doll with her when she passed away. What are you talking? Every girl has little dolls. Well, most girls. I didn't.
Yeah, dolls freak me out.
Dolls freak me out.
That's why we did this show, because I was like, what's something
I don't like
freaky?
Dolls.
Like,
dolls are creepy. But my thing is that she apparently when he found her and she was drowned, she had a little doll with her. So he took that doll, and to appease her spirit, because we don't know what the little girl just drowned, nobody came looking for her and all that kind of stuff. So his way of dealing with that trauma was the dolls, was collecting the dolls for her.
I'm leaning towards, like, the dude was smoking some good stuff and, had a traumatic experience, thought he saw something, maybe went a little bit off his rocker and started doing this to find a way, like a coping mechanism for.
Yeah, I would think
this seems more psychological than it does. Like the other ones seem more demonic. This seems more psychological to me.
Okay, so remember, he was found dead in the same spot the little girl had died. His nephew Anastasio, who had inherited the island, continued the tribute. Then he also died of a heart attack in the same location. All three of them died in the same spot. The island is now, legend centers believe the dolls are possessed by a spirit of the drowned girl. Over time, it included the souls of the other dead children as well as Barrera's own spirit. And there's also the conspiracy that he was killing children, and this is why he put up all the... It depends.
Where's the children?
Yeah. I mean, you can kill somebody and no body, no case.
So that's a lot of kids.
But their thing is that it was to appease the spirit from bad things happening. But 3 people dying in the... But here's the thing about this canal, and what people don't really understand. This is the same canal that is connected to a lot of folklore. I can't say this one either. Nojales? No, that is right. Dark spirits that disguise themselves as black-eyed girls or animals like fish and leopards lure victims into the water. This is the
like
same canal. Yes, the canal that is connected to this island. Also, part of this canal is La Llorona, the legend of the weeping woman searching for her children that she drowned. It is also associated with these waterways. The paranormal activity to this canal's dark history, the canals were part of vast Aztec lake system. After Hernan Cortez conquered the region, it is said that more than 30,000 Aztec bodies were dumped there, potentially opening a portal of evil entities.
Okay, it's
a whole different, because everything connected with this canal is connected with a lot of dark folklore from Mexico City.
Okay, so I'm leaning towards supernatural now that we have the full story here. It does seem plausible the dude could have, went off of his rocker on this one.
Oh, of course, anybody.
But maybe something drove him to that. Maybe some type of spiritual entity. Like, if La Llorona is in my backyard, I'm probably not going to be the sanest person.
Well, think about the water. It's all about the water. Like, this is all attributed to this canal and this island that is right next to the canal. Like, the drowned children and...
water can store energy.
Right, and I don't know how familiar people are with Aztecs, but they were not kind. And if they were leaving this world, they did some horrific things.
Child sacrifices.
Sacrifice anything that they thought would please the gods, they did it.
That's terrifying. And this is why I don't like religion. For that reason right there. I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. You know, I see it more as like a relationship. But yeah, I think when you get religious and things, it can send you down a very, very dark path. You know, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? So, you know, these people may have had good intentions. Oh, we're going to make it rain. Let's totally kill our children. That'll do it.
Yeah. And a lot of people disappear, then everyone gets gaslighting into believing it never happened. And that's like what you're trying to, oh, nope, that didn't happen. There was no drowned little girl or the La Llorona. There's no dead babies.
Right.
That's a hard one because not only, I guess what bothers me about this one than the other ones is the bodies of the people, the little girl, the owner, and the nephew all died in the same place.
In the exact same spot.
In the exact same spot.
So, hold on. Dude finds a little girl.
Correct, with a doll.
In the water, drowned,
yes.
Right? And then he dies there at the water in the same spot.
Drowns.
And then his nephew dies at the water.
Heart attack, drowns.
And then someone else?
No, nobody else. Nobody
So
wanted to be on the island
everyone's
anymore.
like, I ain't going over that spot.
Now, they do allow people to visit during the day. They do not suggest you be there at night. It is very horrifying and terrifying. Bad things happen.
I feel like we should go at night.
Oh, yeah, not that one. I don't like dolls. I know the history. I've been I've been to Mexico City. You stay away from that. Canal is a huge tourist spot. I grew up with the story of La Llorona because my mother was mean.
What about the cucuy?
No, we grew up with all of that. The cucuy chased you down the hallway when you were going to the restroom. Like my mom, just didn't want us to leave our room or our house at any given moment. She was just like, how can I scare these kids? And they were real folklores. They've been around forever.
If you get up and go to the bathroom at night,
going to the kitchen.
If you go into the kitchen and steal snacks, the cucuy and the La Llorona is going to come get you in the night.
That was what she did. She goes, that was our nighttime stories. We didn't get no Hansel and Gretel or.
And see, this is how religion can control people. Lore like this can control people, right? We're literally controlling children to stay in their beds and not get into snacks by telling them that the creature from the Black Lagoon is lurking in the shadows.
It's like when you get told, and I found out that this isn't true. Like if you go to bed with wet hair, you'll be sick the next morning. You know that's not true, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to go to bed with wet hair because it can breed bacteria in your pillow. That's the real reason, right? Why you don't go. But we tell children these crazy stories so they'll think, oh my God, if I get out of bed, the crazy demon monkey's going to grab my ankle and yank me into hell, you know?
I mean,
because kids,
maybe that did happen,
right? But if you tell kids things logically, they're just gonna disobey, right? So we come up with the cucuy and the chupacabra to scare them into.
Who says those things aren't real?
I mean,
that story came from somewhere.
I've actually seen a chupacabra.
A bald dog?
They have one on display.
It's a bald dog. It's a bald, oversized dog.
It's a chupacabra, and no one can tell me otherwise.
It's a hairless dog.
It's a chihuahua. Chihuahuas are chupacabras.
They're not hairless.
All right. So do we have another picture here? Let's see here. So that's our picture now. And here's my thing is it seems made up until you factor in the idea that maybe there is.
Those are the trips you can take.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up here. So because people all died in the same spot, that's where I'm like, okay, maybe this is
something. The only story I give any weight to. Because they were actual people.
What about freaking Annabelle and the dude?
Do you want my honest opinion on that? Now, I gave the story of the background because that's my job to do so. I think it's crap. The doll thing, the dolls being possessed is crap. Just plain crap.
I don't think so.
I believe, again, whether you believe in demons or not, demons even the church, they want bodies. And in your thing about this guy being possessed,
like dead bodies.
They want a live vessel. They have they can't get anything accomplished with a doll. They need a person. They need a body. Okay,
that was one thing that I was researching.
Because I was like, they need a body, they need a host. So when I see these doll ones, one, I think those people of Annabelle, they made a fortune, and they used religion to, again, not a fan of religion. They use that to push their narrative. Second, the other doll, again, why would you hold on to it? Oh, Robert made me do it, or Robert did it. That sounds like a child didn't want to get in trouble.
It's mutilating toys, so we're just going to put it in the attic. I'd burn that. I burned my Furby.
He kept it.
Maybe it was because the child was so attached to it.
It is weird, though, that he still let it keep its name. Like, that's still trippy. Like, he must have believed it so much. Now, again, I could be wrong. These things could be totally real. But in my brain, the two dolls are complete bullshit. To me, it's crap.
I want to believe.
I get it. And people do. People do. But the Valley of the Dolls, knowing Mexico City, knowing the lore behind this canal, pushes me in the other way. Because I know there's some especially, so my native heritage who settled here in California, in Southern California, are the sister tribe to the Aztecs.
So you sacrificed humans and children.
They did. They for sure did. It explains why I'm so mean. But here's my thing. They did horrific things on that land. I'm not going to make excuses. So did the Mayans. So did most tribes all around the world. But I honestly think, out of reading all of it, the Aztecs were pretty freaking bad.
Right.
So,
and like the Annabelle doll thing, it goes back to what, like the 70s. You know, the Robert the doll goes back to, 121 years ago. This goes back like what, thousands of years ago?
Right. These folklore have been around for a very long time. Now, granted, this guy who had the Valley of the Dolls was in his, it started in the 50s. He was older and, he was very reclusive. So people wanted to dismiss him. And he literally traded like fruits and vegetables for dolls to keep her happy, to keep her spirit alive.
I saw that he was literally farming to basically survive and to buy dolls
and to get the dolls for the little girl. What would he wasn't asking for money.
Well, I will tell you this.
He wasn't asking for anything. He just wanted to appease this little girl that he couldn't help, and he felt so devastated he couldn't help her.
After he passed, and then his nephew took over and he passed, there wasn't as many dolls as there is today.
Nope,
the reason it's so much is because people go and visit and they bring a doll. And we're talking about thousands and thousands of people probably every year that are bringing dolls. So now it's more overridden. It's become more of it's
a tourist attraction. But as long as they keep bringing the dolls, the spirits are happy.
Maybe there was a couple dozen, maybe a few hundred to begin with. Now we're talking about thousands. So it's a whole island of the dolls. It's become this lure over time. I wouldn't put it past Mexico to do something like this to bring in tourist attraction and American US dollars.
That's true.
For every supernatural thing.
But the story of the two deaths are documented.
Follow the money. The money will tell you the truth.
But these little things didn't start till a few years, like 10, 20 years ago. This happened in the 50s. I think we forget that we're not in the 1900s anymore. We're in the 2000s. And so the reason why this was cornered off for a while, because Mexico is very superstitious. Whether you realize that, I get Americans are. No, Mexicans, Spanish, any of that in that family, were superstitious to the max. And I think their big thing was, we need to stay away from it. The canal wasn't used for a long time unless it was necessary, because they were afraid of the bad
now
spirits.
They're doing tours through it.
Because Americans
it must
are dumb.
Have not been that bad.
Because Americans will pay to do dumb shit.
I don't know. We went from we're not going anywhere near it to like, oh yeah, let's just totally take families with their children through the canal. If it was unsafe, why would they do that?
No, I'm not saying it's unsafe. I'm just saying it's haunted. There's a big difference. I live in a house I know is haunted. I see it all the time. I'm gonna move. We gonna live together, and someday I'm gonna try to get them to pay rent. Do you understand?
This studio is haunted.
I believe that because the house you live in, the house I live in, these houses were made in what 1930,
like 80 years old
1940.
or
They're
more.
almost 100 years old.
Yeah,
There's some sketchy shit.
Everything around here is old, and I think the older something is, the more likely it is to have like something attached to it. So yes,
so something
and no.
can be haunted. Okay, people. Okay, you're saying that. Oh, people don't. Why are they? Okay, you say that, but how many people go to the Winchester house? How many people?
It's freaky and weird and different.
Because it's haunted.
Is it though, or is it just a staircase that leads to nothing? A door that goes out to
people will
nowhere.
Pay, but I'm saying though, ghosts or not, people will pay to see haunted stuff.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't mean they're not haunted, or they are.
Or the story when the 50s was something completely different, and then they rewrote the story for cha-ching. So that way they can have their tourism.
But you can coexist without being possessed. I think that's what people don't understand. You can coexist with the ghost. You can coexist with aliens. You can coexist with things you don't understand.
Well, I think there are good entities and there are bad entities. And I think in this circumstance, I would say this is a bad entity because, two people evidently lost their life and possibly a little girl. So there's probably something evil and demonic. When I look at the La Llorona, okay?
Doesn't that tie in? She was looking for the children she drowned, and there was a little girl that popped up on the guy's island.
I think this is La Llorona. This is probably the
That's
real
the one story I believe
it's
because
the postquel, right? Like it's not the prequel, it's not the origin story. This is what happened
a very long time.
Right. So I'm thinking this is what happened after. And what I think is La Llorona's origin story comes from the Aztec background that comes with this. So like
correct. That's probably more likely.
A lot of evil and demonic and killing of children and people and mutilation and all that stems to cause a dark force and energy, which then possessed a mother to drown her children, which then possessed a man to see. Basically he saw them getting drowned, right? So here's the thing: it's like a cascading domino effect, right? So he now saw an apparition of this drowning girl, or maybe it was a real drowning girl, or maybe he drowned a girl there. We don't know, right? But it obviously is this cascading effect of demonic energy over the years, and it's probably the same entity because these things are timeless. They don't die, right? And so over the years, it's transferred itself, and it transferred itself into this man who caused him to go crazy, or maybe it was in the doll, right? Now you say it's not in the doll. I think it can be in the doll. Maybe it's in the island, maybe it's in the water, maybe it's in Annabelle, maybe it's in the air, in the ether, right? I do believe that entities can attach themselves to you without entering into you. You have to give an entity
like
permission.
A tick?
No, like you have to give it permission to enter into you, right?
So I would like to hear when a demon asks for permission.
Well, it's like, when you do like a Ouija board, right? You're giving it permission to communicate with you.
Those are fake, right?
No, they are not. And let me tell you something. I will give you a firsthand experience of a demonic entity trying.
I played with Ouija boards growing up, and the only creepy thing was my dad turning on and off the lights so that we would scream.
Right. Maybe there was no entity that, no energy in that space and time. What I'm saying is those things do exist. They are real. There is a scientific explanation for the Ouija board, and we'll do a whole thing on Ouija boards probably one of these days. But what I'm saying is I know for a fact from my personal experience, I have dealt with demonic entities. I've dealt with these spiritual forces and battles that have happened. and I have seen, or not seen, but interacted, and they would basically tell me that, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Every single time I've encountered one of these things, it's always said the same words: "Let me in. Let me in." And I always am like, "You can get off, but you can't come in. Bye. Get out of here."
Okay, so so you've experienced that.
Yes.
Okay. So then you should believe all the other stuff, right? You weren't
I
there.
do believe it. We were talking about,
I'm saying, like,
we need to have an open mind to scientific reasoning and to supernatural.
I just can't buy the supernatural part on this one. The only one I can, and it's not so much the Valley of the Dolls. I believe he saw what he saw. I believe that he believed what he believed. But I also know with the folklore that I was raised with, the reason she drowned her kids was, you were correct, the Aztec Indians were going to sacrifice them, and the better way to, so that they weren't mutilated and slit their throats, she drowned them. And then she cried because that was her way of saving her own children from a horrible fate.
They do say that drowning is one of the most peaceful deaths.
I mean, I don't really want to try it, but I know the most peaceful death is actually freezing to death.
Yeah, but I mean also drowning, though, because
really?
you go into a dream state. You obviously there's some panic behind it. Yes, if you're panicking.
That sounds horrifying.
But like, there are people who have drowned, died, and then were resuscitated, and their experiences, what they talk about is that it's not a painful death. It's not, basically you go into like a dreamlike state of hallucination and you're just gone.
According to science, it's better to die from freezing to death because your sensors just start shutting off.
I don't know, man. I feel like being cold, shivering.
You stop shivering at some point.
Yeah, but it seems like that would be long and drug out, Whereas drowning, it's a few minutes.
But at least you can still breathe. That's the difference.
But you actually
breathing in water.
You get to a point where you breathe in the water and like you don't get that gas. You know how like when you're holding your breath and you have to.
It is horrifying.
That's the panic state of it. But I've actually saved someone's life and resuscitated them. I had a pool at one time, and we were all heavily drinking, and this girl, she was very drunk. She dove into the pool off the diving board and was like swimming around, and because she was so drunk and got disoriented, she couldn't find her way up. And I actually had to jump in and dive and grab her and take her to the top and do CPR. And, someone in that state, they're drunk, they don't know which way is up, they're just swimming around. They're probably not thinking it's probably not a horrific thing. You're drunk, you're not
okay. So
all
under
there.
The right circumstances, drowning is fun. I mean,
no,
listen,
I'm just saying.
But I get what you're saying, and you're getting frustrated with me. But that sounds insane. That does not sound like like heat exhaustion would even be better. Like, you just fall asleep and you just don't wake up. I want one that I can just fall asleep.
I
and
feel
you don't
like
wake
low
up.
oxygen would be the way. Whereas
that's what I'm saying. Cold. That is. Anywhere you go, the best way to die is to freeze to death because your oxygen slowly lowers, your sensors slowly turn off, you just fall asleep and you never wake up.
Yeah, and I mean, so like I used to collect insects, and one of the ways that we would collect insects is we would collect them and then put them in the freezer and they would fall asleep, and that's how they would go.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a humane way to do it. So I could see that. Okay. Also, lack of oxygen. Basically, you get really tired and you take a nap and you don't wake up. I don't know. I hate the heat. I hate.
But if you were
hot.
to go lay down because you were so hot and your breathing starts to, you're doing.
So hot.
I had to.
Did I go too far?
I had to see.
I went too far, chat. I don't know. Maybe it's the mustache. That's what's so hot. Maybe it's the red beard.
Help me. Anyways, but heat exhaustion. You just get tired, go to sleep.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to what we're talking about. The Island of the Dolls, right?
I want to know what people think because I don't know how people are familiar. Again, I love Hispanic heritage, and this isn't just Mexico. Spain has a lot of their own folklore as well, and that's where most of my ancestors are from, is Spain, and from the sister of the Aztecs that settled in Southern California. But my thing is that what is the difference between taking this tour bus to this haunted island that it is all these Americans and foreigners who go to the haunted houses that are all over California, or I mean the United States? How is that any different? You're like discrediting it. Well, it's not that scary if people go, but there's haunted houses everywhere.
I think people will find any reason to monetize something.
Well, yeah, but this wasn't monetized till, I guess you want to call it that, for a while back.
Right. So, yeah, maybe it was just ancient lure that turned into something that they could market.
But what the point is for, this is why this all comes together for me, is the drowned children, the black-eyed girls luring people into the water. Doesn't that seem like, even though they came at different times, doesn't that seem like it's all connected? That's the only one that I could find that was connected to something else, to something else, to something else.
Yes. I think that this is the most likely to be real.
Right.
But at the same time, I think there's some truth in all of it. I'm leaning towards all of it is real. Every single one of them.
No.
I think the least likely one is the Robert one.
The oldest one?
Right. Well, it's not the oldest because this goes back to the ancient Aztecs, right? Right. But I would say that one because I would write a letter just to get my letter posted up there.
Of course you would.
Yeah. Why would? Who would? So many.
Because I'm not weird. It's not.
But I do think that entities can attach to objects, but I think they would much rather attach to a human. And I think in the Robert case, the human was the little boy, and that's why he switched names, because the little boy went into the doll and the demonic entity took over the little boy.
But Gene, what he called himself, had a fairly normal life. Went to college, married, had kids.
And there's lots of people that are demon possessed that live normal lives.
This is all based on the fact that
and then
demons
next
are
thing
real.
you know, one day they snap.
I think you and me have different words for demon.
Possibly.
Yeah.
When I think of demon, I think of fallen angel, nefarious
and I can't
entity.
Wrap my head around a religious answer.
Like when I say ghost, I'm thinking of a disembodied soul, right? Roaming the earth.
That I believe. Limbo, that's where people get stuck at. I mean, I don't believe in whatever, but I do believe that we either reincarnate or we get to have we get just the same life over and over in a multi-universe. Like, we don't know anything.
When I say demon, I'm referring to some nefarious, evil entity that has, ill intentions.
Okay.
That's what I refer to as demon. I think that ghosts can be good or bad. I think more or less the ghosts that are bad are more likely demons, and the ghosts are more likely just disembodied people. And I think people inherently are good. I think people do evil things, and I think there are very, very evil people out there.
Correct.
And those are probably some evil spirits, but I think generally if you're going to encounter a spirit, it's more likely for it to not be evil, because people, I think the majority of people inherently want to be good. At least I feel that way, because I want to be good. I want to be a good person. I want to help people. I want to do good things. I think, people as a group, as a whole, as a society are very ugly and gross and very malicious and selfish and,
Yes and no.
But I think the individual deep down inside has a yearning want to be good. Right.
Okay, but that's not what we're talking about. You're talking about, I don't believe in this whole demonic thing. I do believe in lost spirits, I guess what you would call them, ghosts, spirits that are stuck in limbo and they have nowhere to go. The reason I don't believe in the whole demonic thing is, one, science can prove that it could be mental illness, schizophrenia. But one of my problems is most criminals, do you know what they hide behind? The devil made me do it. And if that
Isn't there a
wasn't
show
used-
called The Devil Made Me Do It?
Yes, which I've watched in its entirety. But here's my thing. That is my issue with this whole demonic thing. It needs to be labeled as something else. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get it. It's a
That's
cop
why
out.
it's a religious. That's why I have my whole thing with people who are like, oh, you have to one, I don't forgive and I don't forget. But one, oh, you have to forgive them. The devil made me do it. First of all, that is not an excuse. Do you know right from wrong? Great. Now, people who don't know right from wrong, who suffer from psychopathy, that's different. They don't know right from wrong. They think what they're doing is okay. I know you don't like my logical answer right now, and I'm not discrediting that they maybe I'm completely wrong and demons are real and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But from a psychology perspective, it sounds more like a scapegoat. Do I believe in spirits that live on this planet? Did you just say goat?
I heard goat.
Scapegoat.
I'm the scapegoat.
Just a goat. But I do believe in spirits being lost. Because whatever happened that led them to that
limbo?
fate. Yeah, limbo. I've always believed in limbo. And until they find peace, they can't leave to wherever you believe you go after this life. I believe in that. But demons is very specific. All these personalities stuck inside of you. And I know the movie Split, great movie. Like, if you had to think of something demonic, but that wasn't who he was, what did they classify it? Schizophrenia.
Right, it was classified as schizophrenia, but I think the difference is someone that's schizophrenic, split personality disorder, they have those different personalities, they have different things. I think what makes it demonic is those same characteristics, but with abilities attached to it.
And that could be very true, but they could have always had those abilities.
No, like there was one I was seeing, and the girl took an apple and
I know what you're talking about. We're going to cover that story.
Yeah, and so like it's like that's a supernatural ability.
Or okay, so here's my thing.
You can't just do that. You just, I'm sorry,
not
but
with these arms, but I mean, if I pump some, metal,
I would challenge like a really ripped. We'll get John Cena because you can't see him.
We can't see him. We're just going to see an apple explode.
Just see an apple, right? Okay. And I think that even someone like John Cena would struggle with doing something like that, because it's just not human nature. And an average person being able to do something like that, that's a supernatural ability, right? Like almost like a superhero type ability that they don't normally have that ability. And then in that moment of possession, they are granted, call them gifts or abilities to do things that defy the laws of physics, defy, everything that we know that science tells us to be true.
Okay. So
that's the difference.
No. So do they know that the demons live in them?
I think some people don't. I think some people are full of demons and don't even know it.
I mean, that is, if that's what you call it, that's very probable. But my thing is like, okay, people aren't going to like this one, but Hitler could have been like at the end, demons maybe do it. I'm not actually crazy.
I'm not saying that blaming it on a demon. It's not a reason for
but that's why it gets
to absolve you.
But that's why it gets discredited, and
I
that's
agree.
what my issue is with it. Now, if you were telling me this back, and this is even back in the '60s with killers and people creating atrocities, and that was their thing. I was, demon had me, or the devil made me do it, and that again maybe. That's what bothers me so much. And then it makes it so like it's not real.
It's a cop-out, but I don't think that just because something possessed you to do it doesn't mean that you get a free pass.
Exactly.
I think you still have the consequences. I believe that if you are possessed by a demon, you have to give it the ability to do so, and basically have to grant it permission. Therefore, you
I don't
are
think you just
responsible.
said it doesn't need permission, though. It just jumped into little Robert.
No, I think that children are easily manipulated, so it's easier for entities to go after children because they can manipulate those children into doing different things. That's why, children are not allowed to have consent, because their brains are not mature enough to understand the ramifications of the decisions that they're making.
That's one thing about when you read up on demons and stuff, they always look like children because you feel bad for children.
Right.
Like, if that's real, and I could be wrong, if that's real, that is genius, because I would help a little girl. I would help a little boy if they needed my help. And you wouldn't think twice. They'd be like, oh my God, be there and crying, and you'd go hug them, and then they're like, zoop. Thanks, bitch.
Yeah, I think that, and these entities are nefarious, and they will do whatever it takes to manipulate people, or to get their end result, right?
Why did it in my head went to a Dave Chappelle, gotcha bitch,
gotcha bitch.
Like, that is what it feels like if there's a little, because I'm a sucker. If it's a child, like, I'm gonna want to help, and I'm like thinking now, I'm like, if that's true, oh man, so quickly I would have a demon so fast, because it'd be like, oh, help me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, come in.
I think that's why they choose to use the form of children. I think that's why they go after children. One, because children are easily manipulated, and to be in the form of a child is because it's easy to manipulate someone else to help a child. Just like the guy at the Valley of the Dolls, right? He wanted to help the child, and therefore it drew him to the water, and it evidently entered into him and attached itself to him. I do think that the entities can not enter in you and possess you, but can latch onto you and follow you,
like drain you. Right.
So, like, you don't necessarily have to be possessed by the entity. You can just be what is the word, like it can follow you, and it can
my thing
wreak
about
havoc on you.
These dolls, and they're like, oh, they're demonic. My thing is, things that are really demonic just drain you of everything. The worst that most
Soul
of these dolls,
vampires.
right? Like, they're just but these dolls were just jerks. They were freaking assholes, throwing shit, jumping everywhere, scratching people. Like, they were just jerks. Like, even if that's the case, and they were somehow, these dolls were just jerks.
I think they feed off of fear, because fear is a form of energy. Even with like the adrenochrome, they have to, the adrenochrome is stronger and more pure the more stress and torment that
we're not talking about Monsters Inc. right now.
I'm just saying is that they do this because it's energy. They're energy vampires. They feed off energy. That's why if
they feed off fear.
Right, but if you believe in the entity, then it gives it more power. And if you are more fearful of it, then it will more likely communicate with you. Whereas like somebody's like, whatever, it's all bullshit. They're never going to have those experiences because it doesn't have the energy to feed off of. It's too draining on the spirit to interact with you. Whereas if it can make the hair stand up on the back of your neck, then it's more likely that it can feed off of those emotions and that energy.
Okay, so look, I believe in spirits and ghosts. I do not believe in demons. I just don't.
I believe in
can't.
demons.
I can't
because
wrap my head
I've
around
encountered them personally is why I believe it.
And I guess because I don't, I never will. But I believe in spirits.
Exactly what I'm saying.
I believe in like spirits and ghosts.
And
that
that's
makes sense to me.
probably why the ghost actually talked to you on the spirit box. And I believe in spirits and ghosts too. That's why when I talked to it, I got the same result when I started asking the right questions, same as you. We believe. I think someone that doesn't believe it has a
Doesn't that
harder
seem
time.
Doesn't that seem convenient though? Wouldn't you want to go after the people that don't believe?
Well, look at Elon. Elon does not believe whatsoever.
No.
But he's a believer now.
A little bit.
He's a little bit
still
now.
hesitation of what he
Right, because
now
he's very logical.
and he's like, well, maybe I didn't hear what I thought I heard.
Right. But he doesn't have as many encounters as we do.
Because he doesn't believe in it.
Because he doesn't believe in it. It's too much energy wasted on someone that doesn't believe. But if it can make someone
So
who
then
already
I'm
does,
good. Like you're in danger.
I'm not
good.
in danger. I'm
no,
covered.
you believe in it, so I'm good then, right?
I'm
like,
filled with the Holy Ghost, so I cannot be possessed. Okay. Me personally,
I feel like
you're in
people-
danger
I
because you
think
don't believe.
People, the majority of people that do get these demons are religious. Look at it. Look into the history of
I
all
believe-
of it. They're religious people because you guys buy into it.
And I don't believe that you have to be a religious person in order to be saved. So if you are someone, you call it whatever you want, but if you believe that you are protected, then therefore you are. That's the difference. Someone who doesn't believe is not protected, therefore could be manipulated.
That's different conversation for another day because I know what I wanted to say, but I feel like you guys are the most vulnerable then.
I think
because you believe in it and you're religious, and if God can't save you, no one can.
I think me personally, I feel like I'm I'm not vulnerable whatsoever because I have that protection, but it also does say in the Bible that you should not, engage in those types of behaviors, right?
And what are you trying to do?
I don't want to engage. I didn't even want to do that thing. Honestly, I was just like trying to see, okay, was this actually interference? And I probably should have never done it. But, the curiosity killed the cat. Okay.
True.
So curiosity got the best of me. I'm a human being. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. But,
because you don't know what you were talking to.
I do not know what I was talking to. But I do know this, that I am safe and I am protected.
None of us are.
I believe I am. I believe, therefore I am.
I believe I'm a cat. Do you see how that works?
You need a cat box?
Cat box. My thing is this whole, I guess because we're on different ends of the spectrum. I'm going to be okay because I'm choosing to be okay. You need something to protect you because you don't think you're strong enough to do it yourself?
No,
From like demons or whatever?
I do myself, but I have...
You need to believe in something?
I have a hedge of protection, like a shield. Like
what if it's not
it's called
real?
putting on the armor.
My thing is, I've listened to your sermon this
and if
whole
it's
time.
not real...
What if you're wrong? And this is all a simulation or whatever it is, and we reincarnate. What if you're wrong?
Then I slept at night and I'm okay with being wrong.
Yeah, but then what if
But for me, I don't feel like I'm wrong because of the things that I have seen.
But why can't people who have a whole bunch of demons just be schizophrenic?
I think they very well could be, and that would be a scientific explanation. The difference is the supernatural abilities. Having a mental disorder doesn't give you the ability to do things that you just can't do or possibly know.
Well, maybe they didn't know they couldn't do it, and then they did it.
If you've never been exposed to certain languages and then all of a sudden you start speaking them fluently.
The first time you're exposed to food, you eat it as soon as you smell it. You don't have questions. You're just like, oh my gosh, this is it.
Speaking in a different language, for instance, if someone who's never even heard the Latin language just
part of their brain, and we just don't know.
How did it get there?
We have a whole bunch of brain. We don't know. We don't know what's in there.
I believe your brain has to be exposed to something in order for it to retain it there. Now, I get what you're saying, that maybe it's from a past life or something like that. Maybe. But
that
for
makes
me,
more sense to me.
I don't think so. I don't know. But I would say that, supernatural ability from, split personality disorder seems more likely to be demonic possession. I do believe that split personality disorder does exist, and that is a real scientific explanation. But I think when you add that other factor into it, that's when it becomes something different. And we have to be able to realize that there are just some things that we can't explain or
Agreed.
understand.
Yeah.
And that we have to be open to the possibility that maybe there's something just completely that defies the law of physics, defies the laws of science, defies everything that we know, because it's something that we can't comprehend.
And I believe there's things out there we can't comprehend, but I guess you're going to call it demons and I'm just going to call it schizophrenia. And it's all the same thing. It'll all be the same thing in the end.
I think a lot of the arguments with all these different things is it comes down to the names.
I agree.
I think
that's what I'm saying. Like, you call it this, I call it that, but it's the same thing.
Right. We're arguing over semantics of the identity of the word that we've created for something. And
that's what people don't understand.
It's all the same thing.
We're all talking about the same thing. We're just giving it different names. Even in the world now, like, we are all talking about the same thing. We're just using different words to say
right.
it.
And the problem is we're not moving forward with understanding what is actually happening because we're too busy arguing over the semantics of the words.
Now, with that being said, I would still want to help, even if they were schizophrenic or demonic possessed. I would still want to help. Does that make sense? Like, I don't have to believe in it to want to help somebody be okay. And that's where we all fall on. Like, okay, how do we help this person with whatever is wrong with them? But
and I think, help can come in different forms. I think some people find help from medication. Some people get help from prayer and
from religion.
Exactly. And prayer doesn't necessarily have to be religion, like I said, I don't believe in religion.
Okay, well, I mean in God in
But
general.
that's us arguing over the semantic of the word.
The semantic of what you call it.
Exactly. That's
right.
a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
So, I think we get to the root of all this, the sooner we as a society accept that there are things we can't explain and stop arguing over the semantics of the words and start having a more open mind about the different things that we are encountering, because there are just some things that science can't explain.
I mean, yeah. And the reason I do agree with that is because I believe ghosts are real.
And if you're watching, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends.
I forgot we were live because it was in my head.
The subscription button if you're watching on YouTube and you're not subscribed already. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers, so help us out with that. And we appreciate all of you that are watching and hitting the like button consistently. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Abstract at Ozthecryptogoat. So come check us out. If you're watching on TikTok, you're not watching on TikTok because we're not live on TikTok anymore.
I'm done with
because
TikTok.
We can't say what we want to say. And that's the beauty of the show, is we get to openly talk with free speech and expression.
While we still can.
And that's why I pushed so hard to start this show now, because my intention was to do this much later on. And
we appreciate you guys so much. So much.
Thank you, everyone. You guys are incredible.
One thing I do want to touch on, though, because this is my same thing with the moon landing, is these dolls, little Robert and Annabelle.
Mm-hmm.
What if those stories are true and we're assholes? Like, we're discrediting their whole experience. Like, they're terrified and scared for their life, and we're just like, it didn't happen.
I think that's why it's important to have an open mind.
That's my only thing. Like, that's always sits in the back of my head. Like, I know I'm wrong sometimes. I mean, it's not really that much, but like, I know I can be wrong sometimes. I am me. How often am I wrong?
All the time.
Never.
That's why you're the fact checker, because you're always freaking right. I hate it.
It's annoying, right? But more times than not, I try to be as, as educated as possible about everything. But in the back of my head, it's that you could be wrong. And that's what hits me with these dolls, was like, gosh, what if I'm wrong? And these dolls did all these horrific things. And I'm just telling these people, your experience is wrong. What you felt is wrong. Everything you went through is wrong. That's not fun either. I don't want to do that to anybody.
Think of people that are demon possessed, right? Telling them that they're discounted, you know, we
I don't
need
want to do
be-
that either. I don't want to discount somebody's what did I say? Perception is, 90% reality. What you perceive is your reality. And to them, that was their reality, whether they made it up. Now, see, that's where that's where we try to decide, but perception is reality. And that reality for them what was real.
For me, I've experienced demonic entities. I've experienced schizophrenic personality
my mother
disorder.
Seems pretty demonic.
People,
maybe it's true.
I've experienced both.
Probably.
And there's a fine line where you can use discernment to identify the difference between each, because I believe both do exist.
I do. But again, the back of my head, it's could be wrong, but the reality is I'm too logical to think anything else. But again, I don't want to discredit someone's perception. That just seems mean. I believe that you think you saw those things, and I wouldn't discredit that because that was your experience. It wasn't my experience. So only you would know that experience. Does that make sense?
Right. And if you're watching, I would implore you to have an open mind about things. Do not, put people down or discredit their experiences, because we as humans may never understand any of these topics, and you should never, mock someone or put them down or anything like what you're talking about, because the fact of the matter is that no one does. That is
we don't know nothing.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We have no idea.
Right. So no one is right, no one is wrong. So for you to go into the world and act as though you know what you're talking about and you know everything, that is when you realize that you know nothing, is when
you stop learning.
Right. So if you cannot be taught something and you cannot be receptive to something new, that is a form of holding yourself back from learning and educating yourself. So I would implore you to have an open mind,